let's delve into this module titled Position Yourself to Win in an Interview. Now, sounding confident but not boastful is very tricky. And how do you do that? What's the best way to let the interviewer know that you are the right candidate? And here comes the solution. The STAR interview response method can help you with that. What is the STAR interview response method? The STAR interview method is a technique you can use to answer behavioral questions and situational interview questions. STAR stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, and R stands for result. This method will help you prepare clear and concise answers or responses using real life examples. So, now comes the important question, what is behavioral interview question? They are the questions that ask you about how you have behaved or responded to or reacted to a particular situation in the past. Specifically, they are about how you have handled certain work situations. Now, I have given you examples of behavioral interview questions, and they are: tell me about an occasion when you had to complete a task under tight deadline. This is a behavioral question. Have you ever gone above and beyond the call of duty? Yet another behavioral question. What do you do when a team member refuses to complete his or her quota of work? You often get this question, particularly when you are looking for a managerial position. Now, let us delve deep into this STAR method. Okay. Like I have already said, S stands for situation, T stands for task, A stands for action, and R stands for result. So, in situation, you describe the context within which you perform that job. So, you are going to describe the situation or the context under which you were given that particular kind of work. Okay, so, this will help the interviewer know the context that led you to perform certain actions. For example, perhaps you are working on a group project or you had a conflict with a co-worker. So, this situation can be drawn from a work experience, a volunteer position, or any other relevant event. And what is more important here is that you need to be very specific or as specific as possible. Now comes the task. Now, once you describe the context or the situation in which you were given the particular task, then you go about describing what the task is or what your responsibility or what you were assigned to do in that situation. So, you describe your responsibility in that situations. Perhaps you had to help your group complete a project within a tight deadline or resolve a conflict with a co-worker or hit a sales target. The next step is action. So, once you describe the task that you were assigned to do, you need to describe how you completed the task and met the challenges. So, focus on what you did rather than what the team did. Okay? So, instead of saying that my team did this or my boss did this or my co-worker did this, instead of saying we did something or we did XYZ, always try to say in this particular context when I was assigned the task of doing XYZ, I did XYZ. Okay? And finally, you need to talk about the result, meaning you explain the outcome once you acted upon the situation, once you react to the situation, explain the outcome or results generated by the action that you have taken. So, that pretty much summarizes the STAR or the situation, task, action, result method. Now, I am going to give you an example question and an answer to that question. So, let us assume the interviewer is asking you with all seriousness, how do you deal with a tight deadline? How do you respond to that? I would say, while I typically like to plan out my work in stages and complete it piece by piece, I can also achieve high quality work results under tight deadlines. Once, at a former company, an employee left days before the imminent deadline of one of his projects. I was asked to assume responsibility for it with only a few days to learn about and complete the project. I created a task force and delegated work, and we all completed the assignment with a day to spare. In fact, I believe I can thrive when working under tight deadlines. Now, this will be an ideal answer. So, let's see how the STAR methodology has been used in this particular answer. So, this is the situation, okay, this line. Then this is the task. I was asked to assume responsibility for it with only a few days to learn about and complete the project. And now this is the action. And look at the result. We all completed the assignment with a day to spare. So, this is an example of STAR method of answering interview questions. Now, let us look at the do's and don'ts of answering interview questions. Now, getting to the do part of it, answer all questions using STAR method. It is very important to maintain eye contact. Also, be very confident, focused and enthusiastic. Always be honest, particularly about your weaknesses. But make sure that when you talk about your weakness, you also add how you have been working on your weakness. Also, while introducing, try talking about your suitability more than the eligibility. Eligibility is the bare minimum that is required for the job, whereas suitability talks about or focuses on how you are the ideal candidate for that particular job. You are going to talk about all your achievements, and you are going to convince the interviewer that you are the best among all the candidates there, and you are highly suitable for this job. So, please do not talk about your eligibility, but talk about your suitability, and understand the difference between eligibility and suitability here. Now comes an important point. Make the interviewers ask questions to you and prepare for those questions in advance. How do you do that? It is by giving them certain keywords and making sure that the interviewer focuses on that keyword and starts asking you questions about that particular keyword. For example, if I say, sir, I believe that I am a very creative person, I am pretty sure that the interviewer is going to ask you, how, what have you done? And this is how I prepare for that particular question. So, I know the keywords that I am going to throw or the breadcrumbs that I am going to give the interviewer, which the interviewer would catch and then start asking me questions. So, if I prepare well for those keywords, I know that I am positioning myself to win in an interview. Okay. Now, let us come to the do not part of interview. Now, do not be vague with your responses. Why should we hire you? Sir, because I am very hardworking, I got good marks, sir. That is not the kind of answers that they are expecting from you. Similarly, do not be too casual, overly confident or friendly. When the interviewer asks you, how do you do? You do not say, I am really good, so how about you, and who are you, and what have you done so far? That's not needed there. Similarly, don't forget your body language. I've seen a lot of kids, when asked, how are you, they say, I'm very, very good, sir. How are you? That is not needed at all. So be, pay attention to the body language. That's very important when it comes to, facing the interview board. And the final point that I have for the day is, please don't repeat what is quite obvious in the CV, such as, sir, I have graduated from this college and I have worked in XYZ company, and after that I moved to another company XYZ. They already know that. They would have gone through your CV, and that's why they have shortlisted you for the interview. So if you don't say that, then what do you say? You talk about the work you have done, you talk about your achievements. Rather than saying, sir, I worked in this company, say, I have led a group of 300 people, or I was in a managerial position, training more than 3,000 employees from different multinational companies. Talk about certain tangible tasks that you have done. So that's how you don't repeat what is quite obvious in the CV, and you talk about your achievements, and therefore create a great impression on the interviewer. So with that, we are coming to the end of this module. I hope you like this session. I will meet you with a different topic on a different day. Until then, stay safe, take care, bye.